I have a comprehensive review of 11 white pens that write on dark colored transparency and matte flags and stickies. Hi, it's Barry. Welcome back to my channel. I originally started recording this video last month with some white pens that I already owned, and I was fairly negative on a number of them, as you'll see. I decided to do a little more research and see if I could find some additional white pens to add to my arsenal. Once they arrived, I recorded the second part of the video, which is a little bit more positive. I've got links to all of the pens, and I have things set up in chapters in case you need to come back to a section to look at a pen again. So let's get started. I have to preface this by telling you that I'm not a fan. My experiences haven't really been great, and so you might find other people who are more positive about these white gel pens than I am, but I'm going to give you my take on it. So first, what I have here, these are two pens that I got, one online and one over at Michael's a while ago. I'm not even going to bother to show you what they look like. They're so ridiculously bad. I have also tried the white Sharpie. I could not find it in my collection because I think I may have heaved it somewhere after being very frustrated with it. But I do know there are people who like that one. I bought the Sarasa Clip. I think it's called Milky White. It's a 0.5. Could never get it to write without skipping. Now it won't even write at all. But because I am who I am and it's a white pen and it's Sarasa, I had to buy it a second time just to see if I had a dud. And it does work. What I did, and I did this in advance because we do need some drying time. What I got in a recent order was what's called the Apparition pen on cloth and paper. And what I didn't realize is that it was a jelly roll. And I already have jelly rolls. And I didn't realize it was a 1.0 because I didn't read the description well. I was just excited to get it because Ashley showed it in her Instagram and it looked like it worked. It does work. But I do tend to like a thinner pen. But as you can see here, I tried to write these out to show you how they're going to look. And supposedly, like with this Apparition pen, 20 to 30 seconds of drying time on a regular paper and 1 to 2 minutes if it's on transparent. So I even waited longer than the 1 to 2 minutes just to be sure. So what we have tested here is the Sarasa Clip, okay, which I showed you. That's the first one. It's a 0.5. Now, one of the things you're going to see is it's not very bright, and when you go to the 0.5 in a white, it's also can be scratchy and skip. Okay, I also have the Uniball Signo, and that's very bold. There's the Apparition. Then I had purchased a set of white jelly rolls a while ago, and it comes in what's called an 05, 08, and 10. It's saying that the one that I thought was 0.5 is really 0.3, and it's just called an 05. And the one that's called the 08 is really a 0.4, and this one is a 0.5, which is their 10. Now, this has been drying for quite a while, but we've got to do this just to be sure. No problems. So any of these would work. It's just if you're like me and you like a 0.3 or a 0.38 nib, it is quite an adjustment to have to get something thicker to be able to use it. If you like something thick, the Apparition or that Uniball Signo, I think those are both about the same. So as I mentioned before, once I filmed the video, I realized that there probably were more white pens that I had not tested, and I placed a few orders for some more pens. And so these are the rest of the pens that I tested. First thing that I'm really excited about is this Posca. And this is not a pen that you're going to be writing with. It does dots, like a dot marker, and they are perfect. On all the Posca pens, the things that you do need to know is that when you first get them, you've got to shake them a lot. You've got to press down on the point. It tells you how to do it. I had to do it twice on some of them for them to write well. And when you're using white pens, a hack that I have is have a piece of scrap dark paper that you're going to test everything on, because if the pen has been sitting, you don't want it to skip or blob some ink somewhere. Now the other Poscas that I got this one, which is the extra fine, and you can see here how these look when you write. And then the other Posca that I got is the ultra fine. Now, what's interesting about this is that the ultra fine and the extra fine are both supposed to be a 0.7. And I did find a few differences with those. Now, the Jelly Roll 10, which I showed you earlier, that's good to write with. But the more I've been experimenting with it, I do really like the Jelly Roll 08 better for regular writing. And here's one that I just did on a transparent circle flag from Cloth and Paper. And this is on the Apollo. And I think that writes really well. So that's probably the one that I'm going to use for when I want to write, because it's the most comfortable to me. Now, I did get two brand new pens that I had no experience with before and that I hardly knew about, but I found them in my research. And they're both the same. They are a Juice Up 0.4. And what is unusual about this is, as long as I was going to buy them, I bought the white one and I bought the silver. And they are so unusual in the application. They really do write well, but take a look at this, okay? So on the left, I've got those new circle flags from Cloth and Paper, the half circle, and those are considered matte transparent. This is the Apollo again, and this is just a regular transparent. And so, you can see the same thing, the silver on the top and the white. Now watch this. When you're different directions to this, I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera while I'm filming this, but in one direction, the white looks great. And then if you look at it straight on, the silver is the silver doesn't look that good, but then in other directions, the silver is the darker one. So I'm going to probably experiment with both of those. They definitely are thinner, and I love having a 0.4. And this is on matte, just a matte sticky note in the black avant-garde from Cloth and Paper. And I think that those juice ups almost write better on the transparent paper. So I'm going to be experimenting with all of these, and I may come back and leave some additional notes. I would love to hear your experience with any white pens on dark paper, especially on transparent flags and sticky notes. Down below, I've got links to all of the pens and where I found a good price on them. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time around.